Hey everyone, Steve here again. I want to welcome you back to the channel where today I'm going to be discussing work-life balance and how it is possible to achieve it. And if this is your first time at this channel, I ask you please subscribe down below, click that bell icon so you'll be notified of all future videos. And with that, let's get started. So when I was in corporate America or working that 9-to-5 day job, whatever you want to call it, I thought I had to be a workaholic. I thought I had to be there all night and all day, and boy was I wrong, because I'd be the first one in the office and pretty much the last one to always leave, and that's with an hour commute one way to work. So I spent 2 hours driving every single day to work my tail off, and all it did was burned me out, and it almost ruined my relationship with my kids and my family. So I want you to start taking some of these things that I'm going to discuss today to heart and see why work-life balance is very important, not just for your mental health, but for your family health as well. And the first thing I'm going to talk about, when you're at work, the next couple of things are going to be when you're at work. I'm going to segment this out when you're at work and when you're at home. So the first thing when you're at work is you have to learn to say no. If they're going to say, hey, can you work an extra, hour or so tonight? No, I'm sorry, I can't. I need to be with my family. I need to take my kids out to whatever event you're supposed to be at that night. Let them know I can't do that. I need to be at my daughter's karate practice, or I need to be at my son's baseball practice. Let them know I do have a life after work. And if you want, you can say I will get to it first thing tomorrow morning. If there's a project that they wanted you to stay late and work on. It's the same thing on the weekends. If they're going to ask you to work on a Saturday, just tell them no. Say, I'm sorry. The weekends are for me and my family and not to work. You don't want to burn yourself out by thinking you always have to work. So don't be afraid to say no. And if they do reprimand you for that, or they do threaten to fire you, that is your cue to find a new job, because that is a toxic work environment that you do not want to be a part of. If they're not willing to be flexible a little bit with your schedule, and they're threatening you with stuff like that, you don't want to work for that company. The second thing that I did at work that was very bad was I always ate my lunch right here at my desk. And that is one of the worst things you can do. The whole point of lunch is to take a break. Get yourself out of your office or out of your cubicle. Go outside if you're bringing your lunch, or go to a designated lunch area if you have that in the building, and get get away from your desk. Because I was trying to eat my lunch, relax, and get work done at the same time. And you can't do that. You can't relax and try and work. It doesn't work that way. So if you can, go outside, find a nice spot in the shade, eat your lunch there, or take some of your team members or your coworkers and let's go out to lunch. Sit outside somewhere, have a great lunch. I know we had a spot right on the water, and it was beautiful. It was a nice way to unwind, relax, and to clear your thoughts for the rest of your workday. And third thing, I know I mentioned this back in the first thing, is ask them if they can be flexible with you. In other words, can you do a flex schedule? Can I, come in, say instead of coming in at 8, can I come in at 9, work until 5? This way I can take my child to school or whatever the case may be. Or hey, can I work 8 to 4 so I can get home in time to get my child from aftercare center? Also, see if you can maybe potentially project share. So it's like, hey, my team is in charge of this project. Can we share the duties with this other team over here and see if we can work something out that way so that your guys aren't there as often? Or see if they'll let you work from home. Working remotely is a great way to have a better work-life balance, as long as you do the work you're supposed to be doing. The other thing you can ask for is to cut it back to 4 days a week. You can do 4 10-hour days as opposed to working 5 8-hour days. And that will give you that extra day off, which you can take that Friday or Monday, or whatever you and your employer agree upon. Heck, it might be Wednesday in the middle of the week. Take your hump day off. But what I ended up doing was working from home on Fridays, so I didn't have to commute that 2 hours round trip. And that saved me gas, and it also allowed me to, make breakfast for my kids, have that family time before I started my work. And I actually did not start working until 9 o'clock on Fridays, because I knew I wasn't in the office to get at the office by 7:30, which is what I was always the first one there and pretty much the last one to always leave every single day. And that didn't bode well for my mental health. And I got burnt out. The other thing that my problem was, number 4, stop being a perfectionist. It's impossible to do something perfect or to have something end up perfect, because there's always something you can improve upon. There's always a little tweak that you can make. Not to mention perfectionism, it's like chasing a dead-end dream. You're not going to get to it. And all I did was waste my team's time. I'm like, hey, can we make this, maybe move this here or change the color of this here, or let's, modify whatever. And they had to go back and make so many changes because we were trying to seek that perfectionism that doesn't exist. Don't do that. It's going to waste your time and waste your team's time as well. What I did, what helped me out to stay focused, was using what's called the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro technique, I would say, work for 45 minutes. And then once you're just working on one thing, you're focused on that one task at hand. This way there's no distractions. You've got to remember, focus is nothing more than the removal of all distractions. So if you can focus on that one thing for that 45 minutes, you're going to get that done. Take a 15-minute break, and then work for 45 more if you have to continue on that project, and then take another 15. And you'll do that until that one task is complete. And that is a great way to stay focused and get things done. Most people don't do that, or they'll try and do a bunch of different things all at the same time, and it actually doesn't get anything accomplished. That's why I'm saying you can be busy doing nothing. You want to be productive. And to be productive, you got to focus on that one thing and be conscious of your time allocation. The other thing that I did that helped me and my team out was listen to music. Yes, we would put our headphones on. I would listen to, for me, it was calming and relaxed, like study music. That's what I like to listen to. Other people would listen to rap, country, rock and roll, whatever it was that they wanted to do. I didn't care as long as their work was getting done. It didn't bother me. But we all had our headphones on and we were all focused on the one task at hand. And when you get home, these are also just as important as the work ones. When you get home, you need to unplug. When you unplug, I'm talking about turning off your phone. Don't check your text messages. Don't check your emails. Don't call anybody back. Put your phone on silent. Put it upside down so you're not prone to want to go pick it up. And when you go out to dinner, you can bring it with you. Leave it in your pocket. I was really bad at getting to dinner and pulling out my phone and checking emails or replying back to emails that could have waited till the very next day. Because what's going to end up happening is you're now taking that time away from your family. You're taking that time away from the kids. And that client is now going to think, oh, if I email Steve at 8 o'clock at night or whatever time it was, he'll respond to me. You don't want to give that assumption to any of your clientele. The other thing is with some of my free time that I started to overcommit with family and friends. Like, hey, we're going to go do this on Saturday, but let's go ahead and do this, and this. And it became too much. And I was getting burnt out even on the weekends. As crazy as that sounds, it wasn't work related. It was just me stacking up all these things I wanted to do with the family. And it actually became too much for myself and the family included. And that's why it's important that you need to take time for yourself. If you just have to take a whole day off, a Sunday, like I'd go to church. After church, we'd come home and just have that day to myself. Take time for yourself. Even if you have to get up early in the morning, my morning routine was my time for myself. I would sit down, I would read a little bit in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and then I would, head out to work because I was already ready for the day basically at that point. I would be dressed, ready to go, but I'd have that time in the morning for myself. You're going to need to have that. And the other thing is if you have a long commute, you can listen to audiobooks, which I used to do that a lot, listen to podcasts. It's a great way to further your education and to learn new stuff. The other thing about being at the house is you want to divvy up those house chores. Because if you have to come home from work every day and then start cleaning up the mess or taking care of all the chores, that's just going to stress you out. And you're not even going to want to come home at that point in time. It's like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym now, or I'm going to stay even later at work because I know when I get home, I got to do this, and this. And you don't want to do that. Teach your kids responsibility now by giving them chores to do to help you out around the house. And it's the same thing with your significant other. There's no reason why they can't help you clean the house or take care of some of the chores that are around the house. It's going to take a load off of your shoulders and make your life that much easier. And the other thing is you want to make sure you exercise. I used to run a mile every morning after I was done reading, and then I would, go take a shower, get ready for work. Keep exercising, because even if it's just going for a walk, because it keeps the blood flowing and it helps reduce your stress, and your anxiety is going to be relieved just by just go outside and just take a simple walk. You don't have to go running. You don't have to go to the gym and pump iron every morning. just go for a simple walk. Take your dog for a walk, or just go walk around the block if you have to. Either way, you need to exercise. It is a great thing to heal your body and to heal your mind, especially if you're walking in nature. Nothing is better than walking in nature. Go down a nature trail, just take a walk, bring a water bottle with you so you don't get dehydrated along the way, and just enjoy nature. You are going to mentally reset easier that way than just walking around the block. The other thing that you want to do is you want to take advantage of your PTO. If you get your personal time off, take it when you can, because there's nothing wrong with taking a vacation. If you don't want to stack up all your PTO for the very next year, because it may not be there anymore. What if your company takes your benefits away because they don't have the money to do it? Or worse yet, they lay you off or fire you. What are you then going to do? Take your vacation when you can. Or heck, you can even take what's called a staycation. Get a hotel, an hour away on the beach somewhere, or somewhere nice out in the cabin out in the woods. Take that vacation for yourself and your family to just be together and realize that work isn't everything. If you want to prevent burnout, understand you need to take your vacations, and you need to take the time for yourself. And if your employer says, oh, you can't take a vacation because we have so-and-so going on, well, I'm sorry, but I need this time off. To take this time off, I've earned it, I'm going to take it. If they're going to fire you for that or reprimand you for that in some way, then once again, you work for a toxic employer, and I would get out of there anyways, because it's not conducive to your health. It's not going to benefit you to stay there. If you're staying there just because you want a paycheck, that's the wrong reason to stay at a job. I get it. You need money to live and survive, but you don't want to wake up every day dreading going to work because of your work situation. Like I've always said, if you want to change your situation, you need to start changing your actions. You are the one that can control your actions. So if you want to have a better work-life balance, you need to start changing things now so you don't end up burning yourself out and, I hate to say it, but potentially losing your family. Because I know colleagues that I've worked with whom they got divorced because they spent more time, they valued their job over their family. And that's not good. You don't want to do that. So take these hints into consideration, please. And well, that's all I have for you guys today, and how you can achieve work-life balance. And you can see as the key word there is the word balance. And if you want to have balance in both your work and your home life, you have to set up boundaries in both work and at home. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'll answer them as soon as I can. And if this is your first time at this channel, I want to thank you for watching, and please make sure you subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon down below so you can be notified of all future videos that we put out. With that, have a great day, and God bless.